All right, we'll take a look at adding two vectors, vector addition. All right, and we're going to look at what we'll call the tail-to-head method here at the beginning, and then we'll look at our parallelogram method. It says here in general that two non-zero vectors, say vectors u and v, they can be added geometrically by placing the initial point of v, so right here, the initial point of v, at the terminal point of u. So there's the terminal point of u. So that's point B right there. It has the same, again, initial point is v is terminal point of u. And then finding the vector that has the same initial point as u, so right here, and the same terminal point as v, which right here at point C. And you can see that forms vector AC, which is our resultant, the sum of vectors u and v. Well, we can also look at that in a parallelogram, which is nice because then we can use geometry parallelograms, and we can use even some triangle properties, right? Some triangle trig that we learned earlier, even with law of sines and cosines, to help us in finding these different parts that we're going to be needing and finding the resultant vector. So with the parallelogram method, right, we can draw in vectors u and v with the same initial points, going off here in the direction that's given, or the, again, directions of u and v. And with that said, the resultant would be the diagonal that's formed, right, from the initial points of both vector u and v in this parallelogram. So we can always draw in the opposite sides to do vectors, which have the same lengths and parallel to it in the parallelogram. And that diagonal right here, again, that's formed is the sum of those two vectors u and v. Again, the diagonal from the initial points of both u and v. All right, so let's go ahead and look at an example. So here's a couple problems we can take a look at to talk about a resultant vector. Let's read through the directions here together. It says the magnitudes of vectors u and v and the angle theta between the two vectors are given. So we've got the length, we've got the direction of the vectors. So we can, again, draw in those direct line segments given that information. We define the vectors. Find the sum, which we call the resultant, of u and v. So find u plus v. Give its magnitude to the nearest tenth, and then give the direction of the resultant vector by specifying to the nearest degree the angle the resultant makes with u. So again, we're going to look at direction based off of vector u. So let's draw in vectors u and v. So here in problem 18, let's get a quick visual. So with vector u, let's draw in this directed line segment, and I'm going to let it be a horizontal. Right, we'll go draw it in here directed to the east here. So we'll do a horizontal vector, and its magnitude is 54. And then drawing vector v, we're going to go 150 degrees off that and draw in a vector of 43 units in length. So let's go ahead and draw in vector v here. Should be a little bit shorter. This vector is on the magnitude of 43 instead of 54. So now let's go ahead and construct our parallelogram. So drawing in the opposite sides, which would be parallel and congruent. All right, we can draw in these two sides. And as we do that, let's draw in now the resultant vector. Which remember is the diagonal that's formed the initial points of both. Right? There's the diagonal that it forms. Now, with that said, we need to make sure we label in what they gave us. Now, remember, I was a 150 degree angle right here. Right? It says 150 degrees between vectors u and v. Now, I also know that based off geometry or parallelogram, that the angle opposite that is also 150 degrees. All right, and we know in a parallelogram, in a quadrilateral, the four angles are going to always add up to 360 degrees. Right, so if those two are 300, these other two are going to be, 60. So with that said, any two consecutive angles in a parallelogram are always going to be supplementary. So we know this angle here is going to have to be 30. It's 180 degrees minus 150 degrees is 30 degrees. So this is a 30 degree angle, and that would be a 30 degree angle. So again, labeling my angles of my parallelogram. Let's go ahead and label all four sides. We know the side opposite vector u, right, this side here, is going to have the same length, parallelogram, so it's going to be 54 units. And this side over here, which is opposite of v, is going to be 43 units too. So we've got all four sides, all four angles labeled. But what's nice about this is we have two triangles that have come into play. Let's take a look at this triangle here, the upper half. I'll go ahead and highlight it. In this triangle, we know a side, an angle, and a side. So we have a oblique triangle. We have a triangle without a 90-degree angle in it. But we know the side angle side, and we know with side angle side, we learned earlier in this chapter, we can solve for any part in that triangle using the law of cosines. And what does the law of cosine state? The law of cosine states you can pick any side. The square of that side will always equal the sum of squares of the other two sides minus twice their product times the cosine of the angle opposite. Well, what are we trying to find? So remember, our problem here is to find vectors, or vector u plus v, right? The resultant, the sum, which we've highlighted here in that different color. That's the u plus v, that diagonal. So let's find that side, which is side opposite 30-degree angle. So with the law of cosines, we know that u plus v squared will equal the sum of squares of the other two sides, which are lengths 43 and 54 squared, minus twice their product, 2 times 43 times 54, times the cosine of the angle opposite, which is 30 degrees, which is one of our special angles. And we can do cosine 30 squared 3 over 2 if we wanted to simplify that. And of course, finding u plus v, finding its magnitude, its length, right, we'll take the square root of both sides. That would give us the resultant vector's magnitude. The square root of 43 squared plus 54 squared minus 2 times 43 times 54 times the cosine of 30 degrees. So remember, they want us to round the nearest tenth. So let's go put this in our calculator. Let's do it together. All right, so we'll type that in together. Let's pull up our TI. So on our TI calculator, let's go ahead and type this in here. So here's our square root. So we got 43 squared plus 54 squared minus twice the product, 2 times 43 times 54 times the cosine of 30 degrees. Right? And just make sure your mode is in degrees. Mine's in radians. So I would need to cut on degree mode. Let's go ahead and do that. So we put in as 30. Of course, so you can also write square root of 3 over 2 instead of that. That's what it equals. And hit enter. And we get 27.3? Rounded to nearest tenth. So 27.3. So 27.3 would be the magnitude. So the magnitude of vector u plus v is 27.3 units. So we found its length. Now we got to give direction. So we have magnitude, right? We got to give direction to define the resultant vectors. Two parts, right? We need magnitude and direction. Now direction is we want to look at the angle, right, that's formed between the resultant and vector u. So where is that in our drawing? And let's highlight that, and I'll put it in red. Here's the angle. Let's look at it here together in red. Between u and u plus v, let's call it alpha. We want to find alpha. So again, to give direction, right, we're going to find angle alpha. So what does alpha equal? Now to find that angle measurement, now remember, now I'm looking at this triangle here at the bottom, which right now we've got with u plus v, now that we know it, that's 27.3 units. We're going to label that. We've got enough information. We've got a side-side angle triangle down here. We could use law of sines if we want. So let's use the law of sines to find the angle. Easy to use. I'm going to use law of sines. So again, to find alpha, law of sines states what? The sides are proportional to the sines of the opposite angles. So that would be what? 43 divided by the sine of angle alpha, right? The side opposite the angle, equal to, now we need a ratio, we know both parts, and that's where we can use the resultant vector. So we know u plus v is 27.3 units. And we're dividing that by the sine of angle opposite, which is 30 degrees. So there we are, using the law of sines. We've set a proportion. Sides proportional to sines of the opposite angles. Now to solve that, right, we could do the cross products. And go ahead and do that together. So 27.3 times the sine of alpha equals 43 times the sine of 30 degrees, which is 1/2 if you wanted to simplify. And let's go ahead and solve for alpha. We need to get rid of the coefficient. Divide out 27.3 on both sides. All right, and remember now, with this, right, we got the sine of alpha equal to 43 times the sine of 30 degrees divided by 27.3. Now that's sine of alpha. We need alpha. So what are we going to use? Inverses. So sine inverse of 43 times the sine of 30, right, divided by 27.3. Now remember, we want this to the nearest degree, so nearest whole number. So let's go do that. Let's see what 43 times sine of 30 over 27.3, what happens when we take the sine inverse of that. That'll give us our angle measurement for alpha. So let's go type that in together. Let's pull up our TI and do it. So we need the second button, second sine of sine inverse, and let's type it in. So we need what? 43 times, make sure we type it in correctly. Let me start over here. Second sine, 43 times the sine of 30. And again, I'm already in degree mode. We established that earlier. Divided by 27.3, close it out. There it is entered, right? So we've entered that in there. And I got what? 51.9. So nearest degree, that's 52 degrees. So alpha, angle alpha, right, is 52 degrees, rounding to the nearest degree. So we've got our direction. So our direction is 52 degrees off vector u. All right, let me clear that off real quick. All right. And let's erase this. Get back to my erasing. All right. So with that, again, alpha equaled what? Alpha equaled 52 degrees. All right, so 52 degrees off, again, vector u. All right, so again, there's my direction. So we've got a magnitude and we've got direction.